So this has been unbelievable, and I have to say each session sort of becomes my favorite, so session 4 is going to be my favorite for now. We are going to be presenting the award for environmental and social governance, and I want to just sort of reaffirm that the last 2 years has really shone a light on our need to address the vast and growing inequalities and inequities facing our global society. From financial security, access to basic human necessities, to affordable housing and economic opportunity. You all know this, you're in this room, you're having these conversations. And with that, I would like to announce the third award winner, which is going to Citi and the Citi Foundation. I want to say a little bit more though. I want to give some background before I invite our award winner up to the stage. In September 2020, building on its long-standing focus on advancing financial inclusion and economic opportunity, Citi and the Citi Foundation announced Action for Racial Equity. More than $1 billion in strategic initiatives to help close the racial wealth gap and increase economic mobility. The effort aimed to provide the following: greater access to banking and credit communities of color, increase investment in Black-owned businesses, expand affordable housing and home ownership in amongst Black Americans, and advance anti-racist practices in the company and the financial services industry. Such important work. So I'm sure you all can agree with me that Citi and Citi Foundation is the very, very noble and honored participant of this award. And with that, I would like to welcome Brandee McHale, who is the head of the Community Investing and Development of the Citi Foundation, to the stage.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Olivia. Okay, first of all, I have to just take it in. I have not stood in like a room with this many people in a really long time. You guys look fabulous, by the way. I just want to say. Okay, so thank you to Landmark Ventures and the Social Innovation Summit for recognizing Citi's ESG efforts. And actually, it's really recognizing all the efforts of so many companies who are really breaking new ground, especially during these past 2 years. I'm really honored to accept this award on behalf of Citi and the many colleagues across the company who live and breathe this work day in and day out. I'm just here as an emissary today. This kind of recognition reinforces for us that we're on the right track. Olivia, you described it as being noble. I would use a slightly different word. Sitting in a room of peers who are change agents yourselves and influencers trying to drive how we change the status quo, I know you will understand me when I say that being on this track is really hard. Especially in a world that is so crisis-driven, it's really hard to not move from one thing to the next. And this focus on racial equity cannot be a one and done. It's not gonna happen overnight. You know, on one hand, it's a time of incredible excitement and innovation in the ESG space, but on the other hand, let's be honest with each other, it's a time of a lot of skepticism as well. Skepticism that our companies, are they really ready to think and act differently? And can we deliver the type of impact our stakeholders expect from us? And that's really at the heart of Citi's Action for Racial Equity effort. It's about looking at ways to center racial equity in our products, our people, our procurement, our philanthropy. We're not building a program off to the side that's siloed, but really looking comprehensively and working holistically across the company in a way that we have never done before to address the persistent wealth gap that fuels racial injustice. For those of you that are less mired in this specific issue, let me just give you one data point. If you were to hold the wealth of white households in the United States today exactly where it is, you could not amass another dollar of net worth or savings. It would take more than 200 years, more than 200, for Black households to catch up to where white households are today. This just isn't a social challenge, it's also an economic challenge that we need to address. And so Action for Racial Equity is our effort to identify ways that we can accelerate closing this gap. I don't know about you, but we don't have 200 years to get this done. And we want to level the playing field for those without the same access and opportunity. But beyond that, it's about our identifying how we transform from a company that stands against racism to a company that is learning and living what it means to be an anti-racist institution. That's the hard work, but it's the critical work. And since our public launch in September 2020, this has required us getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Uncomfortable because I stand here and share with you, we don't have all the answers about exactly how to do this. But what's even more uncomfortable is that there is still so much to be done. So much to be done in our own company and across the private sector. But we are inspired and value the time here with all of you, hearing everybody else's energy and good ideas, and having the wide range of voices in the room today is how bold new ideas and collaborations come to life. And so we accept this award today, not as a symbol of what's been accomplished, but as a beacon and a reminder of how much more we have to do. Thank you so much.